Hello, welcome to JIBRIN Angle on Oweleke TV. My name is JIBRIN, and this is my angle. We have Barrister Austin Manta, a very, very senior legal practitioner of over 40 years. On this show, as always, he's been with us from the beginning, and we shall be talking about several topics that borders the polity with Barrister Austin Manta. And yes, for those of you who have been with us, obviously you know Barrister Manta is a familiar face. Barrister, thank you so very much for being here with us again.
I'm happy to be here.
All right. Like I said, we have so much to talk about. Let me play this clip, and thereafter we'll come to talk about discuss the content.
Transparency as well. Rufai, you're laughing. Go ahead.
You know, I'm laughing because of the hypocrisy we generate in this country. Yeah, I will tell you the truth. It's nothing you're going to do to me. This fight is never about the people. It's about state resource. Godfather that put God's son there, they all fought over interest. They are all personal interests. When they are fighting, they call all of us to come and join them. The people were taking sides. That's why I was asking the likes of Mr. Bernard Miko. Well, you know the ones that say, Fubara is governor, he must stay. Now, Wike has shown he has more power. Everybody has gone behind Fubara. They say God is with him. You see, when people are pushing you, when they are no longer, they will say God is with you. They didn't know God was with you from the very first part. For me, the fight was supposed to be a fight of principle. It was supposed to be a fight against this hegemony of Godfathers. It was supposed to be a fight against words like, I was the one that made you governor. And that's why I say it's not in the interest of the people. The people were there, they were hearing when this party were saying, I made you governor. I didn't make you governor. I made you go. Should one person be making another person leader over a state or the will of the people? So it shows that the democracy we practice is fast falling to the sand of obscurity. So we should stop deceiving ourselves. These two, they reach agreement now because Wike has been able to show. And probably because Wike aligned right and is with President Tinubu. And with due respect, Oji, let's not encourage President Tinubu on the aberration he did. What are we thanking him for? He sided with one party over the other. It was not a level playing field fighting. Because Wike was in his cabinet and because of political needs, sided with one party over the other. And he gave Wike the upper hand.
Yeah, but now there is peace.
And from there, which year peace? Was there not always peace in Rivers State all this while?
No, there was too much rancor going on.
It was not the case of rancor.
One assembly
the
house
rancor, or let's not deceive ourselves.
One thing after another.
It was only once that thing happened.
There was a
the
lot.
rancor was because...
Barrister, we all know what happened. I think it's all over the news that Fubara went to visited Aso Rock, and Tinubu has finally brought them together with Wike to settle them. And yeah, you saw a Rufai there. I think it's a long clip actually. Both Rufai, not a Rufai, I beg your pardon. Rufai and Bati, they really unloaded on Fubara, the hypocrisy of Fubara. Fubara is not just... anyway, I've always viewed Fubara as someone that is weak, but the courage he summoned to actually face, what's his name, Wike, gave me a kind of a sigh of relief, or rather a glimpse of hope in him. But unfortunately, he just, as Nigerians will say, he just forced my hand. He just actually forced my hand right now. This is so disappointing. It's so, I don't know. It's so, like I said, disappointing. There's a word I actually prefer to use. That word is not coming to me at this time. What is your take on this? Because just like Rufai said, it has never been about the people. It has never been based on principles. It has never been based on objectivity. It has always been a selfish purpose. It has always been for monetary purpose. It has always been about ego, sort of. So honestly, I thought initially I thought so, but later I changed my mind when Fubara summoned the courage to do the needful. Sort of, and that is why I presume that is why he had overwhelming support, the overwhelming support of not just the rivers people, but Nigerians as well. But look at what he just did. He just disappointed everyone. Barrister, what's your take on that?
Well, it fits into what I have been saying all along, that there is no principles in the Nigerian politics. It's not about principle. It's not about the people. It's about naked power and the show of force. And it also fits into what I have said repeatedly. If you decide to enter the system, then the only way you can play it is according to the system. It's impossible to fight the system from within. And that is why I said before that somebody like Peter Obi should not enter this system. He should fight for the Nigerian people outside the system if he has the nerve to really do it. But the moment you submit yourself to this system that we are practicing now in the name of democracy, your wings are already clipped. You must operate within the system. You cannot challenge it from within. The odds are stacked against you by the powers that be. Look at Fubara. He exhibited some traits. Of course, most of us who see what is happening, when he showed that side that he wants to fight, we were happy. We say at least let somebody, even though we didn't believe that he could eventually win, but let somebody demonstrate at least the courage to fight the system, even from within, since we do not have somebody out there who we can who will galvanize the Nigerian people to fight for the people of Nigeria. So when he saw some traits of fighting, we were happy, and we wanted the fight to go on principally and see how far he could go. Obviously, the Rivers people were solidly behind him, Nigerian people were solidly behind him, but this do not matter in the Nigerian politics. The people being behind you do not matter. The people that hold power are the people that matter. Tinubu and Wike hold the power, and they beat him into submission. They beat him into surrender. And it's actually shameful for a governor who decided to come out and fight to so chicken out in such a disgraceful manner. What is there? If you cannot leave the place, for God's sake, leave it. You can. If Fubara should leave that place, he will leave with his reputation intact. In fact, he will get more respect from Nigerian people on a general basis. But again, you come back to see what will the respect of Nigerian people do to you in the current system. It will not do anything. Again, it shows that the democracy is not based on what the people want. It's not based on the support of the people. It's based on some other factors. And that is why somebody like Tinubu will take comfort in the fact that nobody will challenge him in 2027. It's not about whether the people back him or not. It's some other issues, some other factors. Power, naked power, and the exercise of that naked power. That is all what there is to it. If not, if it is a genuine democracy, everybody saw it, that at least 90% of Rivers people and Nigerians were behind Fubara. If we are talking of democracy, even the president should be very cautious, should be afraid to touch such a person that is overwhelmingly supported by the people. But it's not about what the Nigerian people want. It's not about the support of the average or ordinary Nigerian. Again, I repeat, it's just about the exercise of power, grabbing the power and exercising it willy-nilly, whether people like it or not. So we have a Fubara coming out in a disgraceful manner to surrender. I heard that he has agreed, one of the conditions that he agreed to, on which they are going to recall him in a short while, is that he will not vie for the second term. Wow. I'm reading some places where they are saying that is one of the conditions that was given to him. Can you beat that? Can you imagine a scenario where somebody's birthright, somebody's constitutional right can be decided even in advance of the time
So,
that is
if that is the case, I didn't even read that report. If that is the case, for God's sake, what could be the reason behind him chickening out? Instead of him to, if he's not, if he agreed or he agrees to the condition of not contesting, not vying, not recontesting again for the second term, then what is his benefit here? Why did he chicken out? Why didn't he fight? Because basically he just left with less than 2 years to finish up his term. So you mean he chickened out? He just decided to just sell his birthright for just 2 years governance or less than 2 years governance? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. Now my point is, you alluded to that fact earlier. The reality is, my problem with Nigerian politicians is that, or even if not just Nigerian politicians generally, but I think Nigerian politicians are just, they have this penchant, more penchant for this, what I'm about to say now. Now, I don't know why Nigerian politicians, they just see today. They don't plan for tomorrow. They don't sow seed and be patient enough to reap the fruits of the germination and the fruit of the tree, of the seed. And they are so impatient. They just see today. They don't project into the future. They don't see themselves in the next 5, 10 years, 15 years, because Fubara is still a very young man. So all they want is just the now. That's the problem. Otherwise, someone like Fubara, like what he did, if he had continued with the support of the people and continued with those traits and the courage that we thought, we didn't know. Obviously, it wasn't that who you are not. You just can't be who you are not. That's exactly what Fubara is just proving to us. This is the Fubara that I wouldn't say we did not know. Someone like me, I saw this part of him, but we let me use that for the benefit of this point. This is the Fubara we didn't know. So, and this is the real Fubara. The real Fubara is weak. The real Fubara is feminine in nature. The real in DNA. The real Fubara does not have scruples. It doesn't have the guts. It doesn't have principles. It doesn't have objectives. The real Fubara is selfish and self-seeking and self-aggrandizing. That is the real Fubara. And that is exactly what he has been manifested today. That is just reality. But ordinarily, I would have expected him to just flow with that, to plant, sow a seed that will germinate in the future. But we don't have politicians these days. Nigerian politicians, they don't believe in the future. They believe in the now. Because if he had continued with this fight, and eventually they forced him out, yes, first he will earn the respect of Rivers people and Nigerians at large. Secondly, there is something that will be wait for him in the future. The reward of such guts, such courage will be waiting for him in future. Sometimes in future, it could be near future, it could be distant future. This is the problem with human beings. We human beings, generally, most human beings, we just believe in the now. We don't know how to actually invest for the future. That is the problem, because it could have been a very strong investment on his side. But no. And look at it, just like you mentioned, for what? For those less than 2 years governance? Just for you to rule the Rivers State for, okay, probably we just feel, okay, in that 2 years, he will amass together with Wike. They will loot the entire treasury of the state, and probably he will become a billionaire or whatever. My God, this guy is a bunch of disappointment. It's a bunch of disappointment. This is, when you talk of politics, this is one of the things, the elements of politics that makes me to actually hate that word democracy. Because democracy actually personifies or epitomizes hypocrisy, because it projects to the world what the wrong impression. That is just it. The personalities of democracy projects to the world. They just show to the world what they are not, by the wrong impression of themselves. Why behind the scene they are a completely different set of people. What is that?
Let me say that in Nigerian politics there is no tomorrow.
Yeah.
That is the truth. And I have said that once you enter the system, you have no choice than to play with the system, play within the system. Fubara is casting his eyes and saying that, well, what will the support of the people do to me? If I don't, Nigerian politics is like a train that is moving. If you don't jump on it, it will leave you. No matter the good you have done. Even the people themselves, I can assure you, look, people have learned from, you can remember the late Barabe Musa.
Yes.
When he was impeached by the MPN-dominated legislature back in I think 1980, between 1980 and 1981. You know, PRP won Kaduna State, then in 79, won Kano State, and did good showing in Gongola State and other states in the north. It was a masses party. It was supported fully by the masses. Barabe Musa was loved by the people, and he stood his ground against the feudal MPN, and he was impeached. And what happened to him? He wanted to count on the support of the people in subsequent politics. But what happened? He went nowhere. He could not even win his ward. From that moment till he died, he could not even win his ward. So within the Nigerian politics, there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, but
you
at the same time, I agree. I agree with you.
It is the now, it's the here and now that is the Nigerian politics. If you count down the people, but the train has gone and you have not jumped on it, you are finished. If today you are well loved by the people and you have not amassed wealth, you have not amassed wealth that you will continue to use in the politics, you are nowhere. You forget about the people coming out to support you subsequently. So again, Fubara is looking at, well, maybe 2 years within the government house, he can amass wealth. And again, he will say maybe he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. I don't know how his mind is projecting. But the fact remains is that standing on principle in Nigerian politics does not pay. It can pay elsewhere, but in Nigerian principle, it does not pay. I have personal experience where my younger brother was chairman of our local government at the age of 29. And we sat as a family and said, look, you are a young boy. You are not yet married. Don't focus on embezzling the money of the people. Focus on your political future. Build a political future. So when the allocation for the local government comes, that time, 1999, when Obasanjo came, the governors will deduct everything and leave the chairman with not even enough to pay the salary of the local government. He will now take his security vote, his protocol vote, and add and say they should pay the staff. The staff, they used to carry him up and dance around the town, praise him and dance around the town. Now, when he finished, he didn't have a house, he didn't have anything because he did not embezzle any money. In subsequent election, he could not even get one vote. When they said delegates to do the next election, he was the only person who voted for himself. The delegates demanded for 250,000 each, and he didn't have to give. So nobody, no single delegate voted for him. So that is the reality of Nigerian politics. You cannot count, if you want to progress within this fraudulent system, you cannot count on the people. You can only count on power and money. And that is what is extremely fraudulent and wrong with the system we operate and call it democracy. There's nothing democratic here. It's just plain fraud being perpetrated on the average Nigerian citizen by the powers that be and by the money that be. That is just it.
Honestly, it's so sad. Honestly, it's so sad and infuriating. It's so sad, honestly. The situation is just appalling.